Not known for his efficiency. George R.R. Martin, of course, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe a lot of people are still waiting on his books. They're still waiting on the final Game of Thrones books, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they are.
But he's working on a ton of other stuff, including, according to George R.R. Martin, 3 Game of Thrones animated series. Now, this comes to us from the folks over at Variety, and I'm going to read this a little bit at length because I think it's really interesting. George R.R. Martin says he has 3 Game of Thrones animated series in the works, including the Sea Snake show, which I got to tell you, I'm all about that. But they were originally talking about this being live action. Anyway, let me read what they got here. Inspired by a recent screening of Netflix's animated series Blue Eye Samurai, which, by the way, if you have not watched Blue Eye Samurai on Netflix, do it. It's really good. Anyway, Game of Thrones creator George R.R. Martin penned a new blog post praising the work of the people who did it and says, Blue Eye Samurai is very much its own thing, and it is magnificent, Martin wrote. Even if you don't normally watch animation, give it a try. It's terrific. I think if you like my own stuff, I think you'll love it. Then go on and say this. The writer then pivoted to his current work. As it happens, HBO and I have our own animated projects set in the world of A Song of Fire and Ice. None of them had been greenlit yet, but I think we are getting close to taking the next step with a couple of them. The father of Westeros revealed that he previously had 4 animated series pitches in development with HBO. Variety broke the Game of Thrones animated series news back in 2021, and Martin went even further, revealing that there were several writer rooms, scripts, and outlines created. Unfortunately, I should say, 2 of the 4 projects were shelved, as Martin put it. While he continues to toil on the 2 remaining animated projects, Martin also dropped the news that his earlier announced the Sea Snake series would be pivoting to animation as well. He says, we've moved 9 Voyages, our series about the legendary voyages of Sea Snake, over from live action into animation. A move I support fully. Budgetary constraints would have likely made a live action version prohibitively expensive. What with half of the show taking place at sea and the necessity of creating a different port every week, from Driftmark to List to the, on and on, all these different places they'd be going. So, Rob, what we've got here is we've got George R.R. Martin saying, number 1, watch Blue Eye Samurai, because it is great. I wasn't going to watch it. A bunch of our viewers told me to watch it. I watched it, binged the whole thing in a day.
It's great.
It's so good. But he says, just so you know, we're working on 3. I love that they're doing Sea Snake. Not many details in the other 2. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of this video, Mint Mobile. On average, it takes about 30 days for a person to break their New Year's resolution. So if saving money was on your 2024 list, your odds aren't looking that great. Luckily, I have a 100% guaranteed way to save you money this year. Just switch to Mint Mobile. For a limited time, wireless plans from Mint Mobile are $15 a month when you purchase a 3-month plan. That's unlimited talk, text, and data for $15 a month. I've told you guys many times that after switching to Mint Mobile, I am spending less than a third on my cell bill than I used to with a major carrier. Say goodbye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. All Mint plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. And don't worry about having to change phones or numbers. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. So guys, to get this new customer offer and your new 3-month unlimited wireless plan for just $15 a month, go to mintmobile.com/Campea. That's mintmobile.com/Campea. Cut your wireless bills to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/Campea. Additional taxes, fees, and restrictions apply. See Mint Mobile for details. Rob, I never read the Fire and Ice books, but I got to imagine if you're a fan of the books, you're maybe getting a little bit frustrated with the fact that he's working on all these other new things. Meanwhile, we still don't have these books. But anyway, what do you think about this? The fact that they're saying, so much Game of Thrones content being made, developing 3 different animated things, 1 on the Sea Snake. How are you feeling about all this?
Well, look, I think we were all waiting. We had a wait and see attitude about House of the Dragon. And I think for the most part, I think I can speak for everybody that everybody was pretty blown away by how good it turned out to be. So, and with George R.R. Martin actively involved in the creation of this stuff, John, I'm excited. I think that we're going to be getting the level of animation that we've seen in stuff like Arcane and even the show I worked on, Dota and Blue Eyed Samurai. There's some great great stuff being done. And I think doing shows, animated shows or live action, I think what we're going to get from Westeros moving forward, I'm excited for all of it, especially if George R. R. Martin stays involved, because I think they know what they have. And again, if we're going to go by House of the Dragon as an indication of the quality, I don't think anyone can say, I think people are going to be excited as long as they keep that quality up.
What do you think? What do you think about, though, this shift that seems to be happening? I mean, not away from live action, because clearly the world of Westeros has more live action planned, but this kind of move to also embracing animation as a part of this world. I guess starting with Sea Snake, how do you think about that? How do you feel about that move?
Well, you know, it depends again how it's done, and we're seeing, like I said, we've seen in animation some really great stuff. You know, it harks back to, like, I really enjoyed the Animatrix. You know, when they told stories, there was like a prequel story that was going to lead into the Matrix sequels. As long as I don't mind the medium, I don't mind animation. It all comes down to writing. It all comes down to the characters and the stories. And obviously, when you're working in animation, you want it to look good. But the animation that we're getting, I mean, if they made an arcane looking show that was set in Westeros, I'd be like, or even like Blue-Eyed Samurai, I'm like, yeah, man, I'd totally be on board. Again, it all comes down to the execution. But I don't think that, you know, people have grown up with animation now. So I don't think that there's, I mean, when I was younger, I was not very interested in animated spin-offs of favorite live action things. But I think we live in a different world now. And I think people can really get behind a great animated series. And the series that we're getting seem to be better and better and better. And also, you have a whole generation of people that grew up watching anime. So I think that there's, you know, people are adult-oriented animation is something that we're going to see more and more of.
You know, one of our live viewers, DB, wrote in that to not forget that we got a Lord of the Rings, the Rohirrim.
The War of the Rohirrim, yeah.
Yeah, that I think is coming in 2024. So there's a lot of interesting stuff on the horizon. It's interesting to see these live action properties kind of embracing animation as another outlet, you know.
Yeah, because it's not, it doesn't, these expensive fantasy shows are incredibly difficult to make, and they cost a lot of money. But in animation, you can show us whatever you want, you know, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. And maybe we'll see areas of Westeros that they couldn't explore in live action, but we'll see them done in animation. And I'm excited.
All right, guys. Question is for you. What do you think about this? And are you one of these fans of the books that are maybe excited to hear this news, but kind of frustrated about, hey, where's the finishing books? Where's that at this point? Like, we'd like to see that. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show Podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.